Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm super excited to go over this video with you. And again, if you find any value at all, please feel free to subscribe for more upcoming content, and drop any comments below. So without further ado, let's get started. So in this video, I wanted to go over the difference between residential real estate and commercial real estate. So I get this question asked a lot from colleagues of mine, that I used to sell houses with. So just a quick backstory on me. You guys can, watch my video where I go a little more in depth. But I started my career selling houses. So my parents, my mom she does loans. She's a mortgage broker, and my dad sells houses. So when I got in the business, I started off, selling houses and just going that way, the typical real estate start. And then I actually ended up transitioning into commercial real estate full time in 2019, in mid 2019. So anyways, I'm doing this video again because I have a lot of friends asking me what the differences are. So if you're an agent that's maybe selling houses right now and looking to get into commercial, or maybe a newer agent that wants to get started and is undecisive of where to go, let me just break it down for you to kind of give you a few of the differences from commercial real estate and residential real estate. So one of the differences is that in commercial real estate, you typically need more down payment. So you're gonna need a lot more capital to purchase commercial. So in typical commercial deals, you could get 10% down on financing, but the average is around 20 to 30% down payment, right? So that's a little bit higher cost for the average investor. Most people, when they start off in investing, they buy a house first and then they move their way up. Maybe they get a house, then maybe they get 2 or 3 units, like a duplex, triplex, or 4 units, and then they move on to apartments, maybe 5 units or more, and that's how they get into commercial real estate. And once it compounds, they have the money from previous years to be able to roll it into a bigger commercial deal. So it's a lot higher down payment that's required. The other thing is, that's for a buyer, but as an agent, right? So if you're selling commercial property versus residential property, so as an agent selling houses, you're gonna get paid typically a lot faster. So a house, you find someone a house, they really like it, they enjoy, they want to move in, you get your offer accepted. Best case scenario, within 30 to 45 days, they're in their house and you get paid, like a month and a half later. So ideal situation, it takes you about a month and a half, whatever, to close a deal and then get your commission, because as real estate agents, as you know, we get paid on commissions. Now with commercial properties, that isn't the case. So a lot of the deals, they are in escrow for a lot longer time period. So an example, I completed a deal when I first joined this office in 2019, 2020, right in the beginning of 2020. Completed a deal. We did a ground lease for a express car wash to be built in a former Sizzler location. So that process right there, it was a 2-year escrow period just to close it out. So that deal just fell apart, like maybe about 2 weeks ago. That deal canceled. So 2 years in escrow, canceled. I don't make any money on it. I make nothing. So if it went through, yeah, the commission is significant, but it didn't go through, so it doesn't matter. Now that's another thing, is that in commercial, it takes a lot longer sometimes to close the deal, and there's a lot less guarantee that deal is going to close, as far as the longer that it takes and the bigger that the deal is, because a lot of these big deals in commercial, there's a lot of due diligence that goes into it, a lot of inspections, and obviously a lot of money. So people are going to be a lot more cautious when it comes to purchasing a commercial property as an investment, or maybe even for their business, versus a house that they really want to live in an area that they really want to live in. So deals can take a little bit longer to close sometimes. The other thing is, as an agent, it's a high barrier to entry in commercial real estate. So what that means is it impossible to start fresh? Of course not. But if you're talking about, you want to, start doing business ASAP, start making money ASAP, residential real estate, selling houses might be where you want to start. because you can go in, do an open house, or maybe do a couple cold calls, or through friends and family, somebody's going to want to buy a house, right? And that process doesn't take as long as the commercial deal. And the other thing is that a lot of the agents in commercial, and I'm not speaking for everybody, okay, but a lot of the commercial agents don't want to deal with just straight residential agents. Now, what I mean by that, as a person that sells houses or that sold houses in the past, I know exactly the process it takes to get that house closed, right? Now, if there's a totally different process that I'm not aware of, my learning curve, right, to learn that process is going to take a little bit longer. So the agent that I'm working with, the commercial agent, they're going to have patience with me. And in more cases than not, they're going to have to do my job too and guide me on how this all works, because I, as a residential agent, I don't really sell commercial properties, right? So that's why as a commercial agent or as a residential agent trying to do commercial, you really have to try to pick one or the other. You could do both. In my case, at our brokerage, they allow us to do both. So we can do commercial sales as well as residential sales. But as the owner of the company here likes to say, is it easier to tell somebody that you're showing a house to that you can sell them a building, or is it easier for you to show somebody a building, and if they ask about buying a house, you could say, well, I sell houses as well. It's just a mentality factor. So again, it's all on what you want to do, but that's one of the differences too, is a harder barrier to entry into commercial real estate. You can get into residential and sell your first house, within 30, 45 days if you really, have some right guidance. So the other thing for commercial versus residential, a lot of the clients, actually most of the clients, all of them pretty much, that you're dealing with in commercial, they are business savvy people. These are not first time buyers that are doing their first, rodeo. These are people that have purchased properties, they have multiple properties, and in most cases, this is not the first one that they're purchasing, right? They have established businesses, or maybe they're an established investor. So when you're talking to them, you have to be, I guess, for lack of a better word, more educated on the type of product that you're selling. So in commercial, there's different product types. You can do retail, which is like shopping centers. You could do drive-through properties, or sit-down restaurants, which is considered like triple net properties. Or you could do big warehouses, or trucking facilities, which is considered industrial. There's a lot of different things you could specialize in, but in commercial, typically you stick to one area that you're really good at, and when that person comes into your market, you know exactly how to work with them, so you're a master of it. So when I say that you have more business savvy people, is you're going to have people that probably know more about the property, or the business factor more than you do, and know more about investing in most cases than you do. But again, how do we learn? We have to talk with people that are more educated than us. And I by no means know everything, and I'm always trying to learn from my clients. So I learn a lot from my clients. So that's another thing. The last thing, and I'm not going to stress this fact, but it's one of the reasons why I did join commercial real estate. Higher sales prices. So in a commission-based business like we're in, right, our time is very valuable because we get paid off of a property or, a transaction that we close on. We get paid a commission, a part of that sales price, right? So in most cases, the average house, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, in some areas could be more, could be a little less. But in commercial real estate, for the most part, you're going to have properties that are on average $500,000 to $1 million on an average property. So let's just say, you sell 10 commercial properties in a year at an average of $1 million. That is now $10 million in sales volume, right? In order for you to get that same amount of volume selling houses, let's just say that the average house that you sell is $500,000. In essence, you're going to have to do double the work to make the same amount of money. So that's another reason why I switched. I love to have really a no ceiling type of job in what I do right here in commercial. I could talk to somebody that is looking for, a replacement property for their business, 5,000 square feet, maybe $1 million, $2 million, or I can get a call from a company that is looking to, invest some capital that they have from an exchange, and they have 15, $20 million, and they're looking for, an 8% cash on cash return, or they're looking for a, 6% cap rate. Whatever they're looking for, you come across a big spectrum. So for me, that was really exciting. I love to have that like unknown factor in the business. And again, for me, it's very fun. So that's why I switched. But again, those are just a couple of differences between residential and commercial, residential, whatever you like to call it. But I really wanted to, share my thoughts, and I wanted to get your thoughts as well. If you guys have any comments, or if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me. I can go into detail on some of these, or go into more detail on other reasons, or other differences there are, for commercial versus residential. So hope you enjoyed the video. If it brought you any sort of value, like, subscribe to my channel, and I hope you guys have a good day.